On cue, a woman screamed. Ellis's exceptional hearing barely picked it up, but the sound was unmistakable. "Shit!" Ellis sprinted toward the exit. "What is it?" Hector called after her. "Percy! Come with me!" she screamed. She didn't wait to see if he had followed, but after a moment he cried, "What is it, girlie?" He sounded out of breath. "Hector, let the spiders out!" Ellis shouted back. As she left the building and turned the corner onto Vine, Ellis dodged a smattering of flashily dressed men and women. Brimstone, the dance club next door to the Bromeliad, had just let out for the night. She identified the source of the scream a moment later as the alley, where a small blonde woman in a silver mini-dress was pointing at a cave spider the size of a German shepherd. The spider had backed a teacup Pomeranian into a corner. The dog, who wore a bedazzled designer sweater over its pink-dyed fur, had failed to develop a sense of self-preservation during its pampered life. It was cheerfully barking at the spider, as well as leaping about enthusiastically, tail wagging merrily. The confused spider was tracking the alien dust mop.
"Help!"
the woman shouted to Ellis.
"It's going to eat Jean-Claude!"
Ellis looked around before realizing that Jean-Claude was the dog. The spider took a skittering step back before deciding the Pomeranian posed no real threat and raising a poisoned talon to strike. The things I do for pink dogs. Ellis vaulted off a fire hydrant in a flying leap that brought her close enough to the spider to kick its leg away. There was a sound like bamboo breaking, and the spider screeched and spun, then lunged at Ellis. Taking a chance, she dove inside the spider's reach and wrapped her arms around the thick abdomen. The leg scrambled futilely around her, and despite a mighty struggle, the spider couldn't bend its head enough to bite her. "To me, Ellis!" Percy cried. Through a forest of legs, Ellis thrust the squirming Pomeranian toward her friend. Apparently, the close call had endowed it with a modicum of self-preservation. "What the hell is that?" a deep male voice cried. Then, "Ooh, check it out, Cheryl! They're shooting a film!" Ellis winced when a smartphone's camera clicked.
"Wow, honey! It looks so real!"
Cheryl was next to her husband. She was wearing a complicated-looking bandage dress. "Stand back!" Percy shouted as the man asked, "Where's the craft services tent?"
"Maybe they don't have a permit," Cheryl mused.
"You really ought to have a permit," the man tutted at Percy. The Pomeranian gnashed its teeth at the looky-loo. "Thank you, Jean-Claude. My sentiments exactly."
"If this is a guerrilla film," Cheryl added, "you really shouldn't be working with animals. I volunteer for the ASPCA's annual banquet, so I know."
Her slurring undermined her words. Ellis bet the animal rights people would change their minds if she introduced them to this cave spider. The monster twisted in Ellis's grip, sliding out of her arms. Just as she was about to lose her grip, she threw her weight forward and pinned the spider to the ground. It squealed, and a chain clinked comfortingly overhead. Thank the mother below.